So the other day, a buddy of mine linked me a video on YouTube titled Review of the Fandom Menace. And for those of you who are unaware, the Fandom Menace is a self-appointed title given to certain YouTubers and news outlets that view themselves as the saviors of the Star Wars franchise. I'm kinda familiar with this group, but not really that much. I clicked on the video expecting to see someone pushing back against their narrative, similar to that of which I have done for Star Trek. But the video was something I really did not expect. In fact, by the end of it, I was left kinda speechless with what I had just seen. The debate between Star Trek versus Star Wars is as old as the franchises themselves. It's well documented and a common topic among science fiction fans. But in a post-sequel trilogy and Star Trek universe world, fans of the two franchises have come together in the most unexpected of ways. Negativity. Not criticism, but negativity. Fans of this channel have been here long enough to hear me complain on and on about the negativity and rumors surrounding Star Trek.
Ultimately, the show is in the prime
CBS
universe.
It's
in the prime universe.
I'm not here to rehash those arguments. I am here to bring into light something that I thought was peculiar and kinda sad at the same time. Both beloved franchises of Star Wars and Star Trek are being attacked with almost the exact same arguments. And what this video from Major League showed me is how eerily similar the attacks are on both franchises. Almost too similar. What do I mean? Well, let's compare.
Fire Kathleen Kennedy. Fire her 3 months ago.
That Kurtzman has indeed been fired.
It's either she's already gone or it's going to happen.
They thought Alex Kurtzman was gone. The pure joy, the celebration.
It just makes sense for a changing of the guard.
The sooner you get this disease...
Infection of their Star Trek franchise.
I think she's gone. I think that she has no power behind the scenes.
Day-to-day operations, he has been removed.
Hand her to the people that sit in a tent in a movie theater overnight just to talk about their favorite Star Wars stories and characters.
No, I'm gonna complain about it because I was there first. I was there with Star Wars, or Star Trek and Star Wars with the original people. I'm old.
Do not pander to social justice warriors.
You need representation. You need some awesome people to look up to.
Make Star Wars Great Again has taken the greatest IP ever and has ruined it.
Star Trek Discovery is a complete failure.
Directly responsible for the destruction of our beloved franchise.
This is like, does J.J. Abrams know anything about Star Wars?
What has this guy done other than screw up 2 major franchises?
But I guarantee you she's not a fan.
The Rian Johnson trilogy has been canceled.
Have been suspended indefinitely.
His trilogy is not going to happen.
There was a call, a secret conference call.
CBS is allegedly holding emergency meetings today.
Evidence? The word that he wants Kathleen Kennedy out.
Just received this breaking news from my source.
She is, for all intents and purposes, his replacement.
Decided to appoint Michelle Rejwan as the new VP of Live Action Development. And while some people will undoubtedly think this means Kathleen is taking a step back...
I'm sorry, who's the showrunner now? Where's Mr. Kurtzman?
Just like Ethan said, I believe she's already gone from behind the scenes.
This is obviously your main source, but now no longer working for DC.
What's happening now under Kurtzman's watch was exactly what they wanted to have happen in 2009.
New group of fans, and I would even say fans.
Voting it up, or Dreckies voting it up.
It literally
for the destruction of our
Star
beloved
Wars.
If you go and watch Major League's video, which I highly recommend that you do, you can replace Star Wars with Star Trek and Kathleen with Kurtzman, and you'd think you were watching an anti-Trek video. The arguments are that similar. Interestingly, both groups use politics as an attack. Both claim that those who do not agree with them are corporate shills or mindless sheep. Both operate as gatekeepers to the fandom, essentially stripping anyone with a dissenting opinion of their status as a fan. Both use insider information and non-vetted sources, and both speak of the doom of their respective franchises from poor leadership. So this begs the question, why are these arguments so similar? Are the Star Trek and Star Wars studios in cahoots with each other about how to run their franchises in a modern Hollywood environment? Or is it something else? One reason might be a negative reaction to new things in general. Fans reacted poorly to the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, Star Trek The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and the animated Star Wars Resistance show, just to name a few. All of which have now lived long enough to see an almost total reversal on the hatred they initially endured. People typically don't like it when studios try to rehash or add on to an existing property. It often comes across as a cash grab and a shallow attempt to make money. But having this kind of a stance and weaponizing it are two different things. To better understand that, we need to pull a little bit further back from just Star Wars and Star Trek. I think it all starts with the reboot and belated sequel fatigue. Nowadays, when a studio announces a reboot or a 20-plus year sequel, the common reaction is, "No! No!" So the standard fan reaction is already a negative one. Now the next step is for news article sites and YouTubers to report on the story. Now, you can do a more neutral report, and that will yield you some clicks and a bit of respect, but the much more common and lucrative approach is to use clickbait titles and speculation to compound the negative reactions. This serves to help reinforce people's initial opinions, make them feel validated, and feel as though they are part of a larger group with an identity. It is also set up this way because news sites need to generate a massive amount of revenue to stay in business, so clickbait is the most surefire way to lure in a new reader. And as for YouTube, well, if you're not trying to game the system a bit to get clicks which help boost your algorithm rating, then you're going to enjoy a nice slow burn of subscribers and miss out on sweet ad revenue. We have also become so accustomed to finding the answers to our questions within the first 4 to 5 links on a Google search page that most people don't feel the need to dig any more beyond reading or listening to 1 or 2 sources or bothering to fully understand or research a topic. So we usually get pulled in by a clickbait headline, get misinformed about something, and then form a whole new opinion based off of that information. And around this goes in kind of a vicious cycle, and a cycle that honestly transcends Star Trek and Star Wars. Everything now gets sucked into this cyclone of negativity, from shoe brands, Marvel, comic books, Warner Brothers, DC, and even music. Scandals and bad press sell. Good news typically doesn't. Just look at mainstream media for any indication of what people want to hear about. So in the end, this is why I say the similarities between Star Wars and Star Trek's negativity is damned peculiar and kinda sad. It's sad that this occurs, and that a large portion of fans would rather rely on hatred to fuel themselves as opposed to just watching a new product, enjoying it or not enjoying it, and moving on. Not everything being produced is going to be great, and not everything being produced you are going to like. Nor will you necessarily agree with or like the person in charge making the decisions about a franchise you feel ownership over. Why do you think there are similarities between these negative groups? Do you think it's because both franchises are being ruined in the same way, or something deeper? Sound off down below and let's get the conversation started.